Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Chloe and I post hauls and vlogs. So if that seems like your kind of thing, then do stick around. But today I'm going to be doing a sit down chatty Q&A video about content creating. I've recently had some really exciting UGC opportunities which I've shared on Instagram. I've had so many questions about UGC content, how to get into it, and just for some advice really. So I thought it would be helpful to sit down and just chat about my experience, how I got into content creating, talking about the difference between gifted and paid collaborations, sharing a few tips such as PR companies, apps and websites I use, props and equipment that I find useful. If you have any more questions, just leave them in the comments below and I will do a part 2. I wrote some notes that hopefully I don't go off on a tangent. Just went to get my squishmallow because I wasn't comfortable on this chair and I don't have a cushion in here. Okay, let's start off with the very beginning, which is when I started content creating. As a bit of background, I was definitely one of those teenagers that grew up watching YouTube. I absolutely loved Zoe Sugg, Louise Pentland, Tanya Burr, some of the OG YouTubers, and I was always fascinated. I absolutely loved watching their videos. I often went out and purchased products that they recommended, and it was just something that I really wanted to do. There was multiple occasions where I created either a YouTube account or Instagram account or a blog. I was so motivated and adamant that I was going to give it a good go, and within a few weeks I would just either stop or delete the account because I was so embarrassed of people that I knew finding me. I'm a very socially anxious person. On my videos I'd probably come across confident because I'm literally sat talking at my camera and posting it for hundreds of people to see, but yeah, I'm very anxious, and just the thought of people finding my content just kept going in circles of creating accounts and just deleting them within a few weeks till 2019. So in 2019 I got a new job which consisted of days and night shifts, and on my night shift I would just be scrolling social media if there wasn't any work to do. September time, getting into the autumn season, I remember finding an account on Instagram where this girl would post kind of autumnal flat layers. So she would be, you know, showing things that she's loving and using or things that she's just bought, but it was in like a flat lay setting. And when I saw it, I thought this is something I can do. It's a way that I can share content without me having to be in the content. You know, I could hide behind those flat lay styled pictures. Remember, I bought like a piece of white card. I went to Wilko's and I bought fake leaves and some like autumnal decor, this wooden board, and I started to make autumn flat lays, which was makeup, skincare, bath products, mugs, candles, anything that I'd bought and treated myself to, anything that I'd been using and really loving and just wanted to share. And that's how I started my Instagram. I also started to post on YouTube. Obviously it wasn't as easy to hide behind the camera on that one because it was literally me talking at a camera. However, I had joined the Body Shop at Home a few months prior and I'd started to do some like live videos in my Facebook group, and my confidence really did improve. So I started off with a couple of videos on YouTube. I think I did a autumn Matalan clothing haul and then quite a lot of Body Shop content, which funnily enough, looking back, like the Body Shop at Home content I did was my most popular. There's even a video that has 10,000 views on it, which is insane now because the Body Shop at Home isn't a thing, but that's really what got me going, and also provided a lot of the content. Like even on Instagram, a lot of the beauty products I shared was the Body Shop products, constantly giving me products to talk about and content to create. Did all my different themes on Instagram, so we had Christmas, winter, Valentine's, St. Patrick's, Easter and so on, and I remember it was actually April time where I hit 1,000 followers on Instagram, and I remember because I did like a little bath setup. I actually cut out and painted some numbers to write 1,000. It was around the same time that I got my first gifted collaboration. I got sent a bath board from a local company, and that featured in a lot of my content. Started to gradually ease out of flat lays and starting to post different things. One of the popular posts I have on Instagram are bath setups because I would create these just amazing colourful baths, definitely during lockdown where I didn't have anything else to do, so I was just really putting all of my time and energy into the body shop and my content, and I was having a lot of baths and self-care, which was amazing. Yeah, that's how things started. So over the years I have regularly posted on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I've also started a blog which I'm not as active on at the moment. Essentially any spare time I had I would put into it. Since I have changed jobs, me and James have bought and moved into a house. We've got 3 pets. You know, life is a lot busier than it was when I started, but I do still try and find the time for it. Another thing that I wanted to touch on is that in my first year I did a lot of research. I remember joining a company that did workshops and presentations and workbooks about content creating and, you know, kind of how to step up your game, tips and tricks. Something I kept seeing come up again and again was that you should have a niche. It's a lot more difficult now to make it in this industry than it was years ago because so many people are doing it. Obviously it's still achievable and I see so many people doing it. There is a group of 5 girls on Instagram that I follow. They've created a company called Girlies IRL where they host events over the UK, which is amazing, and they all do content creating full time now. And when I first followed some of them, they were working a normal, you know, 9 to 5 job. So it's really amazing to see how followers and content have grown, but equally how they've been able to make this into a full-time job. Like you went on a tangent there, but essentially what I'm saying is I think that a lot of people that make it now are people that are consistent in their content creating but also stick to a niche. Slightly controversial, but I don't have a niche and I don't think I'll ever have a niche. The reason that I got into content creating is because I love to share what I've bought, what I'm using, what I love, and I don't just love beauty or skincare or just fashion. I love everything that I love and I want to share it all. I've got 4,447 followers on Instagram as I do this video, and I know fine well in myself that if I just posted makeup products or just posted skincare, I just stuck to that one thing, I feel like my followers would have grown a lot more. Same with YouTube and TikTok. I think if you're posting consistently about the same thing, people that love that thing are going to follow you, but it's just not what I wanted to do. It just wouldn't be my authentic self if I just posted one thing. And I equally think that I'd maybe not get bored of it, but would I just get sick of something if I'm just posting about the same thing? Who knows? But yeah, what I'm saying is I think that people who stick to that niche are usually more successful, but I'm just fine plodding along and just doing what I'm doing because I have still had some really amazing opportunities. I've been very fortunate with brands that I've worked with. I've recently got into UGC, so I'm getting paid for content now. So I think, you know, even though I don't have millions of followers, I'm still enjoying this and making something of it. So for me personally, I prefer to go with content pillars. So content pillars are where you have multiple things that you post about, but you just post about those things. And I would say that I do that. So I don't stick to a niche, but I have my content pillars, which I would say is beauty, fashion, home, lifestyle. That's the 4 things that I post about on all of my channels, and I like doing that. So yeah, I just wanted to touch on that. Obviously my following has grown significantly slower than other people because of that reason, but I am hoping to try and reach 5k followers on Instagram this year, 2k subscribers on YouTube, and want to hit 50,000 views on multiple TikToks. So that's my 2024 kind of social media goal. Content is amazing and it's something I love doing. I have to be realistic in the fact that I've got a full-time job, which I'm changing soon. Actually, I'm starting a new job in a couple of weeks. I've got a house, I've got the pets, I've got other responsibilities and things going on, and I can't just put all of my time and energy into content creating, which I really wish I could, but I'm just not financially in a place to be able to do that right now. Speaking about money, over the years I have received a lot of gifted PR products, which has been amazing, But more recently, in the last year or two, content creators have been asking to be paid for the content that they make with those gifted products, which I'm totally behind, because for years people have just been sent gifted products and that has been their payment. I always felt really grateful when a brand has sent me products, and always been so excited and happy to create content. But the reality of it is, you put so much time into making these videos or taking these photos, and if that was a real job, you would be getting paid like by hour or whatever for that work. I totally get why UGC and paid collaborations are getting bigger now. But for reference, in 2021 I was paid £20 for posting an Instagram photo of a reed diffuser that I got from a home fragrance company. In 2022 I was paid around £50 for an Instagram reel that I made for a skincare company. They also sent me the skincare for the reel as well, so I got the gifted products. I got paid a £50 fee for actually creating the video, which I shared on social media. That's all I had ever earned until this year, 2024. I've had 3 paid UGC collaborations. Firstly, I did a video for a supplement company who do vitamins for polycystic ovary syndrome. So I created videos, sent it to the brand for them to use in their advertisements, and I got paid around about £50. I then worked with a K-beauty skincare company, so I got sent a range of their skincare products, created a video which I posted on my own Instagram channel, and I was paid again around a £50 fee for that. And most recently I landed a collaboration with 2 Clothing, which is the Sainsbury's fashion brand. I got to spend £300 on clothing of my choice. I then created a few videos for the brand, sent it to them, so I don't have to post that on my own platform if I don't want to. I'm still waiting for the brand to review the videos, but I believe I get paid around about £150 for that. I thought I'd quickly mention, since filming this video, I actually got invited to B&Q for a collaboration, which I'm getting paid £250 for, and all I had to do was take pictures and videos in the store. I didn't actually have to do anything else myself, and they just go directly to the brand to review, and then I'll post on my platforms as well. I'm really enjoying UGC content at the moment because it means that I can finally make an income on the content that I create. Actually, payments are going to vary depending on the brand, what content they're asking for, what you are charging yourself, what your rates are. I feel like there is a lot of information online, but it's also quite conflicting of how much you can actually charge for content. I spoke to a girl at one of the girlies events who said that I could charge literally hundreds, and that was really eye-opening. I'm not really going to give advice on how much you should charge or how much brands should be paying you, because I really don't know. I'm still new to it myself and I'm just kind of finding my feet. Yeah, there is a lot of information online that you can have a look at. Okay, so I didn't mean to ramble on so much there. I'm now going to go on to answering the questions that I received on Instagram, and then I will tell you a bit about some of the companies, apps and websites I use to land these collaborations, and I'll also tell you a little bit about some of the kind of props and equipment that I use, because I feel like that might be quite useful. Okay, so my first question is, how easy is it to start doing, and would I find time to do it alongside a full-time job? I would say it's relatively easy to start doing it. I think once you've started and you are getting into it, it becomes easier. I personally have always just done everything on my phone. I don't have a special camera. I don't edit things like on my laptop or my computer. I do everything on my phone, which makes it easier for me. So just follow a lot of people for inspiration to get ideas and trends. As for finding time doing it alongside a full-time job, I've always worked full-time since doing this, and I feel like most content creators, unless they are financially able to just do that full-time, will have another job on the side that they're doing. I feel like everyone starts off doing it as like a side hustle or a hobby. You just have to find the time to do it. For me personally, I currently get 3 days off a week. In my new job, I'm only going to have 2 days, so it's going to be a little bit more tricky when you rely on like natural daylight and the sun to get content. I often try and get a lot of skincare and beauty videos filmed when the sun is shining in my office. I would try and allocate like a specific day or time where you're going to sit down and either think of ideas, look at trends, or actually create the content. Also just utilize things that you're already doing. If you're already doing your skincare and makeup, film it. You've been shopping and you've got some new products, take pictures of them when you get home. For me personally, when I've got a day off and I've got a chunk of time where I can create content, I will batch make content. So I will stand in my office and film multiple videos at once and then post them over the course of a week or two. My next question is, what were the first partnerships and brands you worked with? So as I said, the first gifted product I got was a bath board from a local company. One of the other first brands that I worked with was Mallow's Beauty, Glam Wax, Benacos, Scent by Mail, Urban Fudge, Estrade, Miss Patisserie, Bomb Cosmetics, Bubble Tea Cosmetics, Pixie Beauty, Bliss Snacks. Yeah, they're some of the first. Next question is, how many followers did you have when you first worked with your first brand? Which I pretty much answered before, but it was around about 1,000. However, that was 4 years ago, and I feel like a lot of companies are now working with smaller creators, so I definitely think there's hope if you have less than that. How did you start working with brands at the start? So I was quite lucky, and I feel like a lot of brands had reached out to me. I think when I first started content creating, as I said, I was doing flat lays and they were seasonals. Very unique. I don't think you saw a lot of people doing what I was doing. A lot of small businesses that I connected with actually reached out to me and asked if I would like to receive some gifted products. I do appreciate that it's really difficult for small businesses in this current climate, so you know, they might not be able to financially just give out free products. I think if there's any small businesses local in your area that would be able to create content for them, or there's any small businesses that you already love and use and buy from regularly and you support them, then maybe they would be willing to work with you. As I said, times have changed, so I think now I would definitely recommend looking for PR companies to join, which I will touch more on later in this video. The next question was, I need more tips to gain more followers, please. So it's really hard, because I think when you're starting off you become so focused on numbers, and it's just a very natural thing. The main tip I'd probably have with getting followers is just engaging with your audience and also interacting with other creators doing the same thing as you. Find people that post similar content to you, find creators that have the same hobbies and interests to engage with and interact, support them, comment and watch their content. Hopefully they'll show some love back and follow you too. And next is best tips on taking photos. Now I do have some props that I'm going to show you shortly. I started off, obviously I was doing flat lays, but then when I moved on to other things, I found areas in my house that I could create content. For example, a white unit with a white wall behind it creates a really good blank canvas, and that means that when you're creating content, the product you're showing is going to really stand out. So utilize the sunshine, which you can see reflected here, because when the light hits those products, again, it's just going to really highlight that, especially if it's products that are shimmery and glittery. Invest in ring lights, tripods, materials and props. I'll touch more on this soon. So my next question is how to get started with under 1,000 followers. The main thing for this is just stick it out and be consistent. Your content isn't always going to do amazing. We're going to lose followers some days and gain followers other days. As I said before, engage with other creators, sign up to PR companies that are willing to work with smaller creators. And I think as time goes on, you know, as I said before, it is a very saturated market now. But all you can do is be authentic, be consistent, and just continue having fun with what you're doing and try not to look at the numbers. Okay, a few questions about UGC. So the first one is, what kind of content do you make as a UGC creator? So as a UGC creator, I just pretty much create the same content I do on my social media: unboxings, reviews, demonstrations of beauty products, clothing try-ons, videos where I'm actually talking to the camera and giving a review. Very similar to Instagram, but it just depends on what the brand wants. So my first collaboration, which was the supplement brand, they wanted a video of me showing the product and actually giving a review, so talking at the camera. The skincare company I worked with, they just wanted me to do like a skincare routine and I did a voiceover. The brand didn't ask me to post on my Instagram, they just wanted it to use for their content, whereas the skincare brand did ask me to post on Instagram. It literally just depends on what the brand wants, but equally when you apply for a UGC opportunity, it's going to tell you what they're looking for, what they're giving, so you can really kind of, you know, have a look through and decide whether it is something that you're comfortable doing or not, because some people won't be comfortable talking to the camera. I'm a bit anxious if I have to talk to the camera and post it on my Instagram. So that's something that I look for. If they want me to talk at the camera and give a review and I just have to send the video to the brand and I don't have to share it, then that's a win-win for me. But if it's going on my Instagram, it's weird because I'm literally talking to the camera now on YouTube, but I just find YouTube and Instagram very different like environments. I'm more than happy to do a voiceover for Instagram. The next question is, do I need to start a new account or can I use the one I already have? Just use the one you have. I feel like a lot of UGC content is going to be where you're sending the content to the brand anyways. I feel like it should fit in with your content anyways, because if you're applying for a collaboration with a brand, then that brand has to be something that you're interested in. Like, I'm not obviously just gonna apply for random brands that I have no interest in. So usually it's gonna be makeup, skincare, fashion, home, you know, those content pillars that I have. You're not going to see me doing brand collaborations for children's stuff. I don't have children. Alcohol, I don't really drink alcohol. So anything that I do for a UGC collaboration, I'm going to be more than happy to post on my own platforms, probably because it's the stuff that I already like and want to share, if that makes sense. The last question is, how do I set up a good portfolio? So firstly, make yourself a media kit or a creative CV, as I like to call it. You can get templates on Canva or you can have a look online. Make yourself a CV for your content creating that tells brands who you are, what you enjoy, what your interests are, what kind of content you make, any brands that you've worked with. Also put on your rates, so how much you charge for an Instagram post or a video. As I said, have a look online to kind of gauge an idea of how much to charge. And then you've got that document there ready to send if a brand asks for your prices or asks about working with you. If you find any kind of PR emails for brands or PR companies, you can send that directly to them, so that you're putting yourself out there. So I think that's a really useful tool. We'll touch on apps and websites that I use for UGC collaborations. However, there is a few apps that I have personally give you the option to create a portfolio. This is one, for example, which actually allows me to add a video resume and a portfolio. So the portfolio is just the videos that I've already made for Instagram that I've added on there. The brands can see what your content's like. So I feel like that's a really helpful tool, and as I said, that's already kind of within some of the apps that I use. But other than that, as I said, I would make a creative CV so that you can send them out to brands. Okay, on to the last few things. I'm actually quite out of breath right now. I felt like this was going to be such a short video and I've just talked non-stop. Firstly, props/equipment that I use for content creating. So firstly, ring light and tripods. Now the ring light and tripod that I use all the time is what I'm using right now, so I can't show you it. It costs about £50 on Amazon, but it is amazing. It's the best one I've bought. But you can get cheap versions like these. Like this was actually a few pound. This was maybe like £5 to £10. And these are going to just be really, really handy when you're creating content, whether it's holding your phone at the right angle to take pictures and videos, or if you obviously need a bit more light. I prefer generally to film and take photos in the natural daylight when the sun's out, but when it's a dull day or an evening, I obviously will use a ring light. So that's the first thing. It depends what kind of content you're doing, but when I do makeup and skincare videos, I also like to use little trinkets like these. I bought this on Shein for like £2 and it just looks like a little marble coaster. I've actually got a bit of lip gloss on there still, but it was really good for swatching lip glosses. And then this little shell dish, again I got on Shein for a few pounds, just really cute with like a little lip gloss in. Just a way to step up your content instead of it being on a blank surface. But there is so many things like this. I've got this little like spinny tray that has all my skincare in, that's really useful. This as well that I got from Marks and Spencer's, but there's so many disco ball like things in Primark at the minute. This is really cool when the sun is shining because it obviously reflects the light, and it just makes the photos and videos look really pretty. So just things you can use to step up your content. The thing is these materials I have, so materials, fabrics, backgrounds, again things to just elevate your content a little bit. This literally had a duvet covering. It's like the little like bag it comes in, I suppose, but it's obviously like a tuft material, and I just thought that was quite cool. This I bought from Shein. I think it was described as like a scarf, but it's literally just a white silky material you could get in different colours. But I just find this really useful as a background for some of my beauty products, again just to make it look a little bit different. And if you don't have an area in your house which you think is like aesthetically pleasing for content, just get some fabrics, get some backgrounds, and you can just really make your content stand out that way. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is PR companies, apps and websites that I use to get these brand collaborations. So I will leave everything linked below because chances are there'll be something that I forget. So one of the companies that I've received the most amount of gifted products with is by Scene Group, but it's community and then across Scene. They're really good. You sign up to them online and leave emails as and when they have a campaign drop. You can opt in, which means you like apply for it, and if you are successful you will be sent the products, and they will also send you an email just telling you kind of a bit about the company and the product, what content they would like to see. Obviously with gifted products there is no obligation to post usually. You know, they're not going to force you to post content of the product or the brand, but if you do, then there's probably more chance that you're going to get onto further collaborations. Received so many products from them. My GHDs, which is probably the most expensive thing I've been gifted. I've got products from Oskia, YSL, CeraVe, Charlotte Tilbury, one of my favourite PR companies. Also Skeepers, which is a online website. It was really tricky for me to be accepted with them actually, because you had to have a certain amount of criteria, and I was struggling to get it, but I eventually got accepted onto theirs. I worked with some amazing brands with them, Laneige, Lanone Lips, Huda Beauty. And then there's also a few different PR companies that often communicate with me through email, so they reached out to me, or I found them on Instagram and reached out to them. And usually when there's like a new collaboration, they'll just drop me an email telling me a little bit about it, and then if I want to get involved I will reply and obviously tell them my address. Leave those companies below, but it's definitely worth looking into PR companies. Even if you search like PR on Instagram, it'll come up with lots of different accounts, and you can have a little look through. Yeah, PR companies are definitely the way to go because they are essentially the middleman between creators and brands. They do the hard work in between. As for apps and websites, which I've used to land UGC collaborations where I've actually been paid, so the two that I've had success with has been Insense, which I briefly mentioned before. So that's a really great app. You log on, you can have a little look through the different opportunities they have and apply. When you apply, you tell them why you would be a good fit for the campaign. Obviously there's the option to add a little video telling them about yourself, and then an option to also link other photos and videos as a portfolio. There's different types of partnerships on there, so some of them would actually say gifted, whereas the ones that say paid will say kind of how much they are willing to pay a creator. The two clothing one that I applied for said they would pay between $100 and $300. It's in dollars because it's an American website, but when I put 200, I thought I'd put it in the middle, they accepted it, and therefore that's what I got paid. Option to write why you think you'd be a good fit for the campaign, and then as I showed earlier, you can add a video resume and also a portfolio of videos and content that you've already done, which may be fitting to that brand and will make you stand out. There's also the Cirqle, which is a website that I used, and that's how I landed the skincare collaboration. So for that one, again, I think you have to write kind of like why you're applying for it, which makes sense, and put the amount in. But when I first put an amount, the company actually like declined it and sent me a counter offer, which I ended up accepting because the counter offer wasn't much different to what I'd offered anyways. But it does allow you to kind of go back and forth with a company to, you know, just make sure that everyone's happy on both sides. You know what you're doing, you're happy getting paid, you know, XYZ, and so on. They're the two brands that I've used so far and been successful for UGC content. Both times I read through the brief, so I knew what was expected of me, what they were wanting. Obviously I applied for it, sent the gifted products, created the content, and then either posted it or sent it back to the company to review, then accept it and use it themselves, or you post it on your platform, you receive the payment for that partnership. I'm fairly new to UGC UGC content, but it is definitely a game changer, and I can certainly see how people make this a full-time income. Two other UGC apps that I'm on, there was literally one that had a collaboration for McDonald's and you would get like £700, and there was like a Lidl one for like £2,000. Like that's the fee that they pay you, which is just crazy. Neither of them I was very successful on, but as I said, I can definitely see how people make this their full-time income. Brands are willing to pay. So I will leave below a list of all of the PR companies and apps and websites that I'm aware of, that I've used. I just wanted to tell you more in detail about the ones that I have actually had success with. I can't really tell you much about the other ones, but I will list them in the description if you're interested. As I said, if you do have any more questions, please do leave them below. I may do a part 2 to this. Also, just keep you updated. So over the next few months, if I have more successful UGC opportunities, if I work with other brands and companies, then I'll be sure to do another video and chat you through that and just kind of keep you updated, because as I said, UGC content is getting bigger, but it is fairly new, but I definitely think it's going to be the way to go, and also just a game changer for a lot of creators. The money that I have earned so far from this UGC content, I'm actually putting towards holidays. So I've booked a trip to Krakow in June with my boyfriend James. The money that I've earned so far has already paid for the accommodation that we've chosen for 4 nights, which is insane. And yeah, so honestly just blows my mind, because I have made money from creating content and booked a holiday with it, and when I'm on holiday I'm going to vlog and make content. It's just like looping round. And also on the side, which I've not really spoke too much about because again I'm like quite new to it, but I joined a travel company as an independent travel agent, so I'm kind of like selling holidays now as well, alongside content creating and my full-time job. Next month I'm getting my commission for the holiday I booked for my sister Jess, which again is just crazy, because that I've booked that holiday for my sister, I'm going to get commission for that, and that's going to go towards my holiday, and it just like loops round. But yeah, I definitely just want to travel more in the next few years, and I'm just really hoping that any money that I get from content creating can go towards that, and I will share those journeys and experiences on my YouTube, on my Instagram, and just keep you updated with everything. What I just want to put across as well is that honestly anyone and everyone can do this. Everyone can create content. Anyone can become a content creator if you put your mind to it. If you've got things that you are interested in and passionate about and you want to share, there's honestly nothing stopping you. We're going to stop rambling and end this video here, but thank you so much for watching, especially if you've got this far. Do let me know in the comments. If you are and you have a YouTube channel or Instagram or TikTok or whatever it is, do leave them below as well, because I will follow or subscribe to your content as well, and I will see you in my next video.